Tonight I'll be addressing the recent news of the firing of two police officers in Louisville, Kentucky. Unfortunately, this issue hasn't gone away, so we will continue to address it. The article that I read from the Wall Street Journal is very vague. It doesn't show a reason for termination, and there's no reason to hide that. Everybody on both sides has wanted full disclosure, so that needs to be addressed before really somebody can take the side of firing these officers until you see that reason. So anyone who's making the accusation that they should be fired without that information is making a racial wrong here. The next thing is that the police officers did fire back at somebody who was firing at them. Assume when anybody fires at a police officer, they're going to fire back at you. It doesn't matter if it's the Pope or Denzel Washington. Whenever you fire at a police officer, they're going to fire back at you. So we can assume for a moment that that is not the reason for the firing, because that's fully justified unless you're a complete nutcase. The last part that I want to address is of the racial side of this issue here. Even if we can assume for a second that these police officers did fire, from what I read, the person they fired through a wall. So unless they have x-ray vision and they can see that the person on the other side of the wall is an African American, that can't be assumed here. So, but this is just for an argument's sake, assume that they were going after an African American, which is not the smartest thing to do, to go after somebody. As you can see, they almost got shot and killed. So even if they were going after someone because of their race, we can't assume that they get away with it regardless of what happens to this recent firing. When you have discrimination, the trade-off is money. So when you have somebody who discriminates, they lose money at their business. They lose customers, obviously. So they don't get away with it. So that discrimination aspect does not explain the net worth gap between whites and African Americans. So regardless of the situation, even if these police officers are racist, which they could be, that does not create any excuse for an African American for a lower net worth. Thank you.